boys. Enough. Okay, this seems... It's chapter 12, which, if you know, you know. That seems a little bit coincidental. And then the title of this is Marking Territory, the Boundaries of Rage and Forgiveness. The Crescent Moon Bear. Under the tutelage of wild women, we reclaim the ancient, the intuitive, and the passionate. When our lives reflect hers, we act cohesively. We carry through, or we lean if we don't already know how. We take the steps to make our ideas manifest in the world. We regain focus when we lose it, attend to personal rhythms, draw closer to friends and mates who are in accord with wildish and integral rhythms. We choose relationships that nurture our creative and instinctive lives. We reach out to nurture others, and we are willing to teach receptive mates about wildish rhythms if need be. But there's another aspect to mastery, and that is dealing with what can be called women's rage. The release of that rage is required. Once women remember the origins of their rage, they feel they may never stop grinding their teeth. Ironically, we also feel very anxious to disperse our rage, for it feels distressing and noxious. We wish to hurry up and do away with it. But repressing it will not work. It is like trying to put fire into a burlap bag. Neither is it good to scald ourselves or someone else with it. So there we are holding powerful emotion that we feel came upon us unbidden. It is a little toxic waste. There it is. No one wants it. And there are few disposable areas for it. One has to travel far in order to find a burial ground. Here is a literary version of a brief Japanese tale that I've detailed over the years. I call it I'm going to butcher that if I say it. Tuskina Waguma, the Crescent Bear. I believe it can help us see our way through this matter. The core of the story was given to me as The Bear by a Sergeant Segra World War II veteran and patient at Hines Veterans Assistant Hospital in Illinois many years ago. Good boy, Sam. That's a good boy, Sam. Sam is being my patient angel baby, just laying down. Coda is... I don't know what Coda's doing, honestly. I don't know what Coda's doing like half the time. It's just on. Hi! I love you. You're goofy. Okay. Anyway, sorry, getting into it. No sorries. No sorries here. My bad. Okay. There was once one young woman who lived in a fragment pine forest. Her husband was always fighting a war for many years. When he finally was released from duty, he trudged home in a most foul mood. He refused to enter the house. He had become used to sleeping on stones. He kept to himself and stayed in the forest day and night. His young wife was excited when she learned her husband was coming home at last. She cooked and shopped and shopped and cooked and made dishes and dishes and bowls, tasty white soybean curd, 3 kinds of fish, 3 kinds of seaweed, rice sprinkled with red pepper, and nice cold prawns, big and orange. Smiling shyly, she carried the food to the woods and knelt beside her war-weary husband and offered him the beautiful food she had prepared. But he sprang to his feet and kicked the trays over that had the bean curd spilled, the fish jumped into the air, the seaweed and rice spilled into the dirt, and the big orange prawns went rolling down the path. "Leave me alone," he roared, and turned his back on her. He became so enraged she was frightened of him. Time after time, this occurred until, finally, in desperation, the young wife found her way to the cave of the healer who lived outside the village. "My husband has been badly injured in the war," the wife said. "He rages continuously, eats nothing. He wishes to stay outside and will not live with me as before. Can you give me a potion that'll make him loving and gentle once again?" The healer assured her This I can do for you, but I need a special ingredient. Unfortunately, I'm all out of hair from the crescent moon bear. So you must climb the mountain, find the black bear, and bring me back a single hair from the crescent moon at its throat. When I give you what you need, and when I, oh my God, then I will give you what you need, and the life will be good again. Some women would have felt daunted by this task. Some women would have thought the entire effort impossible. But for she was the woman who loved. Oh, I am so grateful, she said, and it is so good to know that something can be done. So she readied her journey, and the next morning she went out to the mountain, and she sang, words I cannot read, dog check, both right there. Artego Zeshiel? She sang out, and this was a way of thanking the trees for lifting her hair so that she could pass underneath. And then she found her way through the forest and began to climb again. It was harder now. The mountain had thorny flowers that seized the hem of her kimono, and rocks that scraped her tiny hands. Strange dark birds flew out at her in the dusk and frightened her. She knew they were Muinboink, spirits of the dead who had no relatives, and she sang out prayers for them. I will be your relative, I will lay you to rest. Still she climbed, for she was a woman who loved. She climbed till she saw the snow on the mountain peak. Soon her feet were wet and cold, and still she climbed higher, for she was a woman who loved. A storm began, and the snow blew straight into her eyes and deep into her ears. Blinded, she still climbed higher, and when the snow stopped, the woman sang out Artego Zesho to thank the winds for ceasing to blind her. She took to shelter in a shallow cave and could barely pull herself into it. Though she had a full pack of food, she did not eat, but covered herself in leaves and slept. In the morning, the air was calm, and little green plants even showed through the snow here and there. Ah, she thought, now for the crescent moon bear. She searched all day, and near twilight found thick cords of scat and needed to look no further for a gigantic black bear lumbering across the snowfall, leaving behind deep pad and claw marks. The crescent moon bear roared fiercely and entered its den. She reached into her bundle and placed the food she had brought in the bowl. She set the bowl outside the den and ran back to the shelter to hide. The bear smelled the food and came lurching from its den, roaring so loudly it shook loose little stones. The bear circled around the food from a different distance, sampled the wind many times, then ate the food up in one gulp. The great bear reared up, snuffled the air again, and then disappeared into its den. The next evening, the woman did the same, setting out the food, but this time, instead of returning to her shelter, she retreated only halfway. The bear smelled the food, heaved itself out of its den, roared to shake the stars from the skies, circled, tested the air very cautiously, but finally gobbled up the food and crawled back into its den. She put the food in the bowl outside the den and stood right by the opening. When the bear smelled the food and lumbered out, it saw not only the usual food, but also a pair of small human feet as well. The bear turned its head sideways and roared so loudly it made the bones in the woman's body hum. The woman trembled but stood her ground. The bear hauled itself onto its back legs, smacked its jaw, and roared so that the woman could see right up in the red-brown roof of its mouth. But she did not run away. The bear roared even more, put its arms out to seize her, and the 10 claws hanging 10 long knives over her scalp. The woman shook like a leaf in the high wind, but stayed right where she was. Oh, please, dear bear, she pleaded. Please, dear bear, I have come this way because I need a cure for my husband. The bear brought its front paws to the earth in a spray of snow and peered into the woman's frightened face. For a moment, the woman felt she could see entire mountain ranges, valleys, rivers, villages, reflected in the bear's old eyes. A deep peace settled over her, and the trembling ceased. Please, dear bear, I have been feeding you for all these past nights. Could I please have one of your hairs from the crescent moon on your throat? The bear paused. This little woman would be easy food. Yet suddenly, he was filled with pity for her. It is true, said the crescent moon bear. You've been good to me. You may have one of my hairs, but take it quickly, then leave here and go back to your own. The bear raised its great snout so that the white crescent on its throat showed. The woman could see the strong pulse of the bear's heart there. The woman put one hand on the bear's neck and with her other took hold of a single glossy white hair. Quickly, she pulled it. The bear reared, cried out as though wounded, and this pain then settled into annoyed huffs. Oh, thank you, Crescent Moon Bear. Thank you so much. The woman bowed and bowed. The bear growled and lumbered forward a step. It roared at the woman in words she could not understand, and yet the words had somehow known all of her life. She turned and fled down the mountain as fast as she could. She ran under the trees with the leaves shaped like stars, and all through the cries, "Arigato Zeosho," to thank the trees for lifting her boughs so she could pass. She stumbled over the boulders. She looked like big loaves of bread, crying, "Arigato Zeosho," to thank the mountains for letting her climb upon its body. Though her clothes were ragged, her hair askew, her face soiled, she ran down the stone stairs that led to the village, down the dirt road, and right through the town to its other side, and into the hovel where the old healer sat tending the fire. "Look, look, I have found it. I have claimed it, a hair of the Crescent Moon Bear," cried the young woman. "Ah, good," said the healer with a smile. She peered closely at the woman and took the pure white hair and held it out towards the light. She weighed the long hair in one hand, measured it with one finger, and claimed, "Ah, yes, this is an authentic hair from the Crescent Moon Bear." Then suddenly she turned, threw the hair deep into the fire, where it poppled, crackled, and consumed in a bright orange flame. "No!" cried the young wife. "What have you done?" "Be calm. It is good. All is well," said the healer. "Remember each step you took to climb the mountain? Remember each step you took to capture the trust of the Crescent Moon Bear? Remember what you saw, what you heard, and what you felt?" "Yes," said the woman. "I remember very well." The old healer smiled at her and gently said, "Please now, my daughter, go home with your new understanding and proceed the same ways with your husband." Oh, the sun feels so good. I'm definitely cold. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't cold. But we love the cold. We're not complaining about the cold. But am I a little bit chilly? Yes. I probably could have had like one more layer. Okay, that's a really good story. I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of this. But yeah, beautiful. This was just the page that I happened to turn to. It's page 375.